Hello, everyone, and welcome to our studio. Welcome, Melanchol, the Executive Director of the Miles Nadal JCC. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's your first time you're actually in our studio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And I really want to know, the JCC downtown, I'm saying JCC because we're all used to, saying the JCC, but there is a wonderful and beautiful JCC downtown. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the JCC downtown, in fact, is the first of the JCCs. The history of Jewry in downtown Toronto begins sort of 1909 to 1919, when various agencies came together to help both from a labor perspective, from a housing perspective, from a health and welfare perspective. And that's what eventually became the basis for the federation, that is UJA Federation. But there were all kinds of buildings and all kinds of programs that were being created downtown. In 1919, that's when we sort of started from. Wow. So it's almost 100 years. We're celebrating 100 years of UJA Federation shortly. But they were very concerned about social programs for young Jewish men to start with. So that was the beginning of the YMHA, yep. And then eventually the YWHA. And they were spread over various buildings in the downtown core around Kensington Market. And eventually they bought a building at 15 Brunswick Avenue. They moved in there. They still had to use the gymnasium in the Beth Torah or the Beth Tzedek that was downtown. And it then outgrew its own premises because there were so many people who wanted to come for social programs, for athletic programs. There are so many stories of how people met their spouses.
We're talking about like starting in almost 100 years ago.
And the 20s.
Wow.
But by the 50s, they knew they needed a larger space, so they bought this property at the corner of Bloor and Spadina. And in 1953, it opened as the downtown, as the Y, as everybody called it.
I was going to say, it was.
And there are so many who still refer to it as the Y. So 53 starts the Y downtown. And actually, by 1961, as the Jewish community migrated further north, that's when the Bathurst JCC actually opened.
Really? That long ago?
That short afterwards and that long ago, yeah. But what we were known for in the downtown core, in terms of fitness membership and fitness club membership and recreation, was the fact that we reflected the neighborhood. So we were we have always been, in terms of fitness membership, 50% Jewish, 50% non-Jewish. And the non-Jewish part would have been through the 60s, people fleeing from Hungarian revolutions, from Czech revolutions.
Immigration, a lot of immigration at that time, yeah.
Indeed, and then through the 70s and 80s, it was very Italian, Portuguese, and now it's become very Asian, and always reflective of the community. It's right in the middle of, University of Toronto.
That's right.
So there are academics and their families. What's very interesting is, as you look at the Jewish migration going further north, and then as I always say, norther, from the Bathurst and Shepherd up to now Rutherford Road and Richmond Hill, et cetera, et cetera. The families that moved up there wanted to have that kind of lifestyle up there and have their children immersed in Jewish experiences. Well, now we have empty nesters.
I know, and they're all gone back
and they're all moving back downtown.
I know.
So that, if you look at say the Jewish community of 200,000 self-identified Jews, and I think that there's at least 250,000 because there are those that wouldn't have identified. Yeah. You have that corridor that runs up Bathurst Street and gives a shift over to Spadina and further south. And there are 30,000 downtown. There are 70,000 now up in where the Schwartz-Riesman Center is, up at the Lubavitch campus, and then 100,000 that range down Bathurst Street between the two.
I know a lot of young families with young children that actually immigrated from Israel straight to downtown.
Well, don't
even bother coming up north.
Well, but in fact, there are two large communities. There's a very large community up north, but there is a very vibrant community downtown and midtown. And we are, in fact, very proud of the Israeli programming that we do, and that has grown in the last 3 to 4 years, we have reached out to community, we've engaged community. There are Kabbalat Shabbat, there are holiday celebrations. There is a wonderful new Israeli parenting center, which has terrific lectures, has issues oriented that parents can come and discuss the things that are of concern to them, children about to go back to school, children integrating or assimilating into the community, and we have huge and it's all beivrit, so it's all conducted in Hebrew. So they will feel welcome and they will feel comfortable.
I just heard you. Do you speak a little bit of Hebrew?
אני לא מדברת עברית. It's the only thing I can say in Hebrew.
She's very quiet. I caught it. That's great because there's a lot of Israelis that come professional. Like,
Indeed.
You know, there's a lot of doctors that come, like, you know, not necessarily forever. They usually sometimes come for 3, 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
And it's beautiful that they have a place, because that's, you know, always a worry for an Israeli that come, that they want to make sure that they have some place to go for the holidays, that they have some place to go for Shabbat, if they want to.
Exactly.
But it's beautiful. I want everybody to know that, you know, there is a place for us, you know, the downtown area.
Yes, I mean, and in addition to what we've done for and with Israelis, and we do it with Hillel, and we do it, we have cultural programs that are done with the Israeli consulate, and those programs that begin downtown are now also being repurposed up north at Schwartz Riesman Center as well. So we have a terrific outreach sensibility, and that's what makes us and all of our JCCs the welcoming place that it is. We feel very strongly that our role is to engage the Jewish community, engage them Jewishly. For people who are affiliated, for people who are not affiliated, for people who are comfortable coming into the JCC where they know they can get their holiday celebrations, their life celebrations. We have a little chapel up on the 3rd floor. Nice. There have been Brit there and B'nai Mitzvah and not weddings quite yet, but it's a lovely space and a lovely place. And we feel that it's very important that our programming, whether it's the cultural programming, whether it's the fitness programming, that it's reflective of Jewish values, and that there's a Jewish lens that we use and we put over our thoughts and our programming as we move forward, as we work with our partners, and as we develop all of our other programs.
Beautiful. You also mentioned some things about music.
Yes, we have over 600 people participating in music programs at the Miles Nadal JCC. We have 4 choirs. We have a klezmer orchestra. We have...
You mean they actually belong to the part of the JCC?
What do you mean by part of the JCC?
Like is it do you just practice there, or this is part
This is a JCC choir.
That's what I'm like,
They pay to participate in the choir. They pay to participate in the klezmer orchestra.
Wow.
We have one of the largest Suzuki schools in Toronto. We have over 90 students who are learning the Suzuki technique at the JCC.
Now, I don't know anywhere else that they offer that.
Oh, it's all over.
Really?
Yeah, it's everywhere. But ours is one of the largest anywhere in the greater Toronto area.
You mean other JCC offer that as well?
Do the others?
Other JCC? No. That's only you.
No. The Suzuki program so far is only downtown.
Okay.
But we also have summer institutes for creative adults. Nice. It's like taking a camp week in town. There are vocal institutes. There are theater institutes.
For adults?
For adults.
So we can leave the husband at home?
You can leave or bring him with.
No, we can leave them at home. Join her program. Sounds good, girls.
Yeah. And I mean, in addition to that, we have our Toronto Jewish Film Society, which always has Israeli and Jewish film components in it. It's 8 different sessions a year with speakers. We have a really incredible active 55 plus program, which is both health and wellness and cultural programs. And it has grown from when I came to the JCC over 10 years ago. It was 6 85-year-old ladies sitting in a circle with somebody playing a guitar, hootenanny style. And now it's 90 people in a room listening to lectures on opera, on art, on the history of Yiddish theater, and in taking pottery classes and theater classes. It really is extraordinary, because our premise is from womb to as old as you can get. So we've got tummies to mummies prenatal programs, and take you right up so that you and your grandchildren and your children can come into the JCC, can work out with a personal trainer who understands, and believe me, they work with me, they understand their needs. And then you can go to a choir, you can go to an afternoon lecture, you can play with your children on a Sunday morning in our jungle gym, you can take them to their swim lessons, and swimming brings me to...
You have a swimming there. Do you have a pool?
Well, we do have a pool. We have a pool that is 63 years old.
I guess I have to go to see the JCC.
I think I have to give you...
Be there for a while.
I have to both invite you and give you some day passes to come and check it out.
Actually, yes.
The pool has been closed for the last 5 months, as it has undergone a complete renovation renewal. It is a brand new pool. And it is now a stainless steel pool, like they have for the Pan Am Games, for all of the Olympic Games in Beijing and London and Rio. And I have been like sneaking into the back and watching the transformation from what was
I can imagine.
To what now is. But what we've done, people kept saying, "Are you going to make it bigger, Ellen?" And I said, "Well, it's got a footprint. You know, if I tried to make it wider at the east entrance, you would walk in and fall in the pool. You have to have a certain amount of deck space." But what we did do on the west side is we took down 2/3 of the upper viewing deck so that the pool deck is flat to the wall, so we could install an accessibility lane.
Oh, that is so
important. This is now going to be the only public, accessible saltwater pool in downtown Toronto.
Good for saltwater. Wow.
It's been saltwater since 2007. I always say that we converted with kosher salt. But accessibility is such an important part of what we do. We have instituted a number of programs. We have done everything that we can to take a building that is 63 years old and make it as accessible as possible. And now you can have access to all of the classrooms, accessible theater.
That's so thoughtful, and that's so it warms your heart, because not a lot of
and what's interesting about once you've got the facility has been made accessible, it's how you then include everyone, and it's not just special programs. It's including everyone in everything that we do.
That's right.
So that now that there is this accessibility lane, which you can get in either just walking in or using a water wheelchair to get in, or I think most of the people using the pool are going to walk in via that lane anyway. It's having swim programs where someone came to us and said, who was visually impaired, and said, "I want to swim." And we found a volunteer lesson coordinator who was prepared to swim with her in the water, so she could swim beside her and orally understand where she was within the lanes. So she now swims. She also participates in our choir.
That is so beautiful. It really is.
And we've created workout equipment where you can actually work out with a personal trainer, work out on your own, for visually impaired, for hearing impaired, for people with disabilities and special needs, on equipment that's especially set up so that you can work out on it.
That's beautiful. That's, it really warms your heart that it's not, that you accommodate the surrounding area, the people. You accommodate the people, and it's beautiful, because not too many, how do I say it very diplomatically, not many associations do
Well, in the
take care
Jewish
of those
community, we
details.
think it's very
Yeah.
important. And the
Yeah.
whole notion of Itanu and inclusion
Yeah.
has started off as an initiative from UJA Federation 10 years ago. And now almost all of the synagogues in Toronto
Do it.
have embraced it and doing whatever they can to make the bima accessible, to make the sanctuary accessible, to make their reception rooms accessible. And what is terrific about all this is that we work very closely with partners such as Autism Ontario, Down Syndrome Ontario, Holland Bloorview, the Ontario Trillium Foundation, who has been marvelous, and the AOD, the Directorate. We held the first Real Abilities Film Festival last June, the first one outside of the US. That's all either films about or films made by filmmakers with disabilities and special needs.
Well, you know, that is so special because I'm going to say it again. Not every organization, you know, takes that step. They don't. Not all of them. I've been around too for a lot, and really, you know, really kol hakavod.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really, I'm saying from the bottom of my heart, and my viewer know me. I don't just say it. Really, really. Yeah, from the bottom of my heart.
I thank you, because we're not only is it important work, we're really proud of the work we do, and we like to think that we're setting ourselves up as a role model for the rest of the city. But what makes it easy as well is the number of agencies that work with us. So we are the seat of the Downtown Jewish Community Council. And there are 45 different agencies, schools, shuls, Hillel, Jewish Family and Child, et cetera, that sit at that table and work together to promote each other's programs and to find out what is happening in community. And many, many, many of them, about 22 to 25, come together to help us when we put on our Tikkun Leil Shavuot. Oh, and that's, we've been doing that now for, I think, we're in our 8th year now. It is extraordinary. From 6:30 at night when we have the dinner with the young kids. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, we have a little bit of time. Just tell us what, so people that don't know what it is.
Well, a Tikkun Leil Shavuot is an all-night learning on Erev Shavuot. Okay. And it starts at 6:30 with a dinner with kids, and then it goes on. And
kids, well, what ages?
From 2 to 12.
Got it.
And then there are study sessions throughout the JCC that go on for an hour, and then there's a half an hour break, and go on for an hour and a half an hour break. And I've been part of not a flash mob, but an instant choir, where we had 90 people in the room and we taught them 4 songs in 4-part harmony in an hour. And then we have, of course, the traditional cheesecake.
She promised us the next time that she's going to come on the show, she's going to sing. Because I've heard her sing. She's amazing. So I'm going to keep you to that promise the next time.
You bet. Well, first come to the Tikkun.
Okay.
When it comes along and see. But it goes until 8:30 in the morning when the sun rises.
Wow.
And we have rabbis from every congregation coming to participate and do it with us, so that 700 people.
But this is only at your JCC, right? Downtown?
This is all the downtown JCC.
Because this is the first time wow.
But these are programs that can be replicated
Absolutely.
Up north, and you know, there are so many synagogues up north that do their own thing as well. But from the downtown perspective,
you know, we're from the north. We don't mind sometime going
downtown every once in a while.
For us, it's like a tiyul. It's like a trip. It's an outing, so we don't mind at all. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is we're doing for the Jewish, you know, community. Tell me a little bit about, you know, the other communities.
Well, I mean, the fact is
that actually joined the JCC.
All right. So to make the distinction between, you know, the Jewish life programming obviously is going to be attended 95% by Jewish community, but we work in tandem with the 4 schools that we have in our building as well. The Paul Panna Downtown Jewish Day School is situated there, the Downtown Jewish Community School, which is a Hebrew school. We have a child care center and a preschool. We work with them to work with the families, with intermarried families. So people who want to engage Jewishly, there are programs, there are lectures, there are workshops to bring all of that together. But what we have stood by for 63 years is the fact that we are, I call us a magical magnet, this wonderful hub where people come together to either engage Jewishly, to meet people, to be, just hanging out at the second cup, to participate in our programs. I mean, at the end of the day, what we say is that, we are there for recreational, spiritual, cultural, educational, health and welfare, that rooted in Jewish values, we are open to all.
Everybody's welcome.
We are accessible to all, so everybody come on down.
If you want to, that's beautiful. Our time is up, can you believe it? I hope you learned a little bit about the JCC, and for those viewers that are downtown, come to the JCC downtown, come. And it sounds beautiful, but it's not enough. You have to come back. I'm sorry. You have to come back and tell us, a little bit more. Bring us the music. Bring us, a little bit.
Tell you about Opera for All, where
Yes.
140 people came to participate with a maestro from Europe.
Amazing.
Fabulous.
Maybe you can bring us a little clip next time.
You bet.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. She came all the way from downtown to our studios. Thank you very much. I
Thank
really
you, Gila.
appreciated everything that you had to say, and I really appreciate you coming to our studio. I thank you very much, and I'm sorry, but our time is up, and I will say goodbye, and I'll see you next week.
Welcome to the Miles Nadal Jewish Community Center. We're located in the heart of downtown Toronto at the corner of Bloor and Spadina. The Miles Nadal Jewish Community Center is a magical hub where the community comes to learn, to teach, to grow, and to have a wonderful time together. Check out our state-of-the-art fitness center, where we have more than 90 group exercise classes each week, as well as specialty fitness and wellness programs such as boxercise, gravity, yoga, spin, and karate. There are Tummies to Mummies programs, personal trainers, massage, a running track, and also a brand new gymnasium for basketball and other recreational activities. We also have one of the city's only downtown saltwater pools with a full aquatics program for children and adults. The Miles Nadal JCC is home to a Suzuki music school, multiple choirs, music institutes, a pottery studio, and our Jewish film series in the 280-seat Al Green Theater. If you're interested in Jewish culture, then check out our Hebrew language classes and our family holiday celebrations. For children, we host a variety of camps, after-school programs, 5 schools, including childcare and preschool. Adults of all ages can enjoy our lectures, fitness, music, dance, and social gatherings. Everyone is welcome at the Miles Nadal JCC. Come inside and experience it for yourself. To learn more about us or to help support our programs, visit mnjcc.org.